I met him years before everything collapsed, back when trust felt natural and loyalty wasn't something you had to question. We weren't friends because we were similar, we were friends because we were useful to each other, and at the time, neither of us realized how dangerous that was. He was the kind of person everyone liked at first. Funny, confident, generous in public. I was quieter, more observant, the one people underestimated. Together, we balanced each other, or at least that's what I believed. Over time, he started leaning on me more than he admitted. Advice, favors, emotional support. I became the place he emptied his doubts while he presented confidence to everyone else. I didn't notice when the balance shifted, when support quietly turned into dependence, and dependence, when mixed with insecurity, always rots into resentment. The first signs weren't obvious, they never are. Small comments disguised as jokes, stories he told where I played a smaller role than I remembered, decisions made without me that affected both of us. When I questioned it, he laughed and said I was overthinking. That phrase again, overthinking. It's the favorite tool of people who don't want accountability. Slowly, I realized he didn't just want support, he wanted control over how I was seen. He started speaking for me in groups, interrupting me mid-sentence, correcting harmless details as if accuracy was authority. People began associating my ideas with his voice, and because he was louder, they believed him. I stayed quiet longer than I should have, not because I was weak, but because I wanted to understand the shape of the betrayal before reacting to it. That patience saved me later. I noticed how he repeated my thoughts to others like they were his own, how opportunities reached him first, even when the work came from me. When something failed, he subtly redirected blame. When something succeeded, he absorbed the credit. Watching this happen felt surreal, like being erased slowly while still standing in the room. The hardest part wasn't losing recognition, it was realizing that the person I trusted was actively rewriting our history to benefit himself. The moment everything changed came when someone confronted me privately and asked why I was letting him walk over me. That question shook me more than any insult ever could, because it meant people were noticing, not just his behavior, but my silence. That's when I understood something critical. Staying quiet wasn't protecting the friendship anymore. It was protecting his version of reality. And once I saw that clearly, my role changed. I stopped trying to fix things. I stopped defending him. I stopped explaining. Instead, I started watching carefully, listening, remembering. Patterns reveal themselves quickly when you stop interrupting them with emotion. I didn't expose him publicly. That would have made him a victim. I did something far more effective. I let him talk. I let him exaggerate. I let him contradict himself. I made sure I was present when promises were made and absent when excuses were needed. I stopped covering for him. I stopped smoothing conflicts. I allowed people to experience him directly without my presence acting as a buffer. And slowly, the image he built began to crack under its own weight. People noticed inconsistencies. Stories didn't align. Responsibility shifted too often. Trust thinned, not because of anything I said, but because of what I no longer prevented. When he finally realized what was happening, it was too late. He confronted me, angry, confused, accusing me of betrayal. The irony would have been funny if it hadn't been sad. He said I had changed. He was right. I had. I had stopped sacrificing myself to preserve someone else's comfort. I didn't argue, I didn't accuse. I simply told him I was done carrying weight that wasn't mine. That sentence ended the friendship more cleanly than any fight ever could. Months passed. The fallout wasn't dramatic. No public collapse, no loud consequences. Just quiet exclusion, missed opportunities, invitations that stopped coming, people choosing distance without explanation. That kind of loss is slow, and it's brutal. When I heard about him later, it wasn't anger I felt, it was clarity. He hadn't lost because I destroyed him. He lost because without someone managing his image, he had to face himself, and some people can't survive that. I didn't walk away feeling victorious. I walked away lighter, free of a role I never agreed to play, free of a friendship that depended on my silence to function, and the lesson stayed with me longer than the pain ever did. Not everyone who stands beside you wants you to stand tall. Some people only want you close enough to block the light, and when you finally step away, the darkness they live in becomes impossible to hide.